Now let's face it, chain and sprockets, they're wearable items. And at some point, you're gonna need to replace them. Now, before you click away, the principles in this video will apply to most bikes, but the specs, they're for this bad Sal. So I'm gonna be changing my rear sprocket from this to this. Doing that so I can get a little bit more torquey torque when I'm actually out in the trails. God, that was so dumb. Let's go. So I ordered the parts from Revco.ca, and I'm not affiliated with them. I just wanted to give you guys my honest opinion of using their website. They have warehouses all across Canada, so shipping, it only took 2 days to get to me. Their webpage is so extremely easy to use. Even a guy who gets lost using GPS, he can figure out and manage his way around. I've dealt with their customer service in the past, and they've been great to deal with. So if you're in Canada and you're looking for parts or any ADV gear, check them out. Now there's a couple items you'll need to complete the task. Number one's pretty obvious, new chain and sprockets. And don't be that guy, don't be cheap, don't just get the chain. Replace both sprockets and the chain. Start fresh. If you're pinching pennies, maybe hold off on a few Starbucks coffees to cover the cost. You're gonna need a chain breaker and rivet tool. You're gonna need some wrenches and sockets. You're gonna need a torque wrench. Yes, we actually have to use it. Caliper. For measuring the thickness of the master link compared to the others. It would help to have a little bit of Loctite for the front sprocket to make sure that thing doesn't come flying off. And lastly, some gloves. Unless you enjoy scrubbing grease out of your little fingies, then go ahead and don't use any gloves. Before we start, let's just remind ourselves we are not gonna lose our temper here. This is a machine, it's got nuts, it's got bolts, and that's it. We have patience, we will win. Let's go. So to kick it off, we're gonna need to take this front sprocket off. In order to get that, we're gonna have to take off the shift lever and the front cover here. Now we're gonna loosen the front sprocket nut before loosening it off the chain. So what we gotta do is lower the bike on the side stand. We're gonna put it in first gear, then we're gonna crack that bad boy loose. Try it from a different angle. Now we're gonna flip the bike back, We're gonna push the bike back up. We're gonna put it on its center stand or jack, whatever you're using. So we're gonna break the chain now. So we're gonna use this tool here. This is the main body we're actually gonna use to break. These are the little pins that actually push center links. We're going to put that spring right there. That's gonna go into the body. And then these right here, these are just little guide tools to make sure that that's all nice and straight. Now what we're gonna do is line up that center pin right with the center of one of the links here. We're gonna close the body, and then this smaller end is what we're gonna actually use to push the chain link through and break it off. There, just heard the snap, snap, crackle, pop. Away she goes. Yeah, that's a win, baby. And now we disconnect. So now we're just gonna pull the chain all the way through, get it out of here. Now, since we've already broken that nut loose, we're gonna take the front sprocket right off. Now, great time to get in here and actually clean up all this muck that you typically don't get. This is a couple years of neglect. Next up, we're gonna take our rear wheel off, 27 mil wrench, and loosen off this axle. So on a little side note, if you do need to get this axle through and it's being a little stubborn pushing out, you can tap on it, take something a little bit heavy like your vice grips in your toolkit. If you don't know what to use in your toolkit, check out the video. Use your vice grips almost as like a little hammer, but make sure you put the nut on just so you don't mess up any of the threads. Now we're gonna loosen up these fasteners here. They're gonna be pretty tight, and forewarning, I already loosened them off just to save myself the embarrassment. Then the new gear will go on. We're gonna put some Loctite on. When we're torquing, we wanna do it in a crisscross pattern. All right, now that we have that done, wheel can go back up, axle right back through, and then we're gonna wrap the chain around. Now next up, we're gonna put the sprocket on. We're gonna put a little bit of Loctite on the fastener here, and we're just gonna snug it down. All right, so I found my marking where I wanna cut right here, so it'll both be female ends, just like that and that. So I'll make a cut right there, and then I'll be able to have a little bit of room for adjustment slack backwards here. A little bit of wheel bearing grease right on the insides here, and I'll show you why in just a second. What this grease is going to do, we're going to plug the hole here and push it, and it's going to get all the air out of the channel here and push it back out, so at least the rods here are nice and lubed. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our chain tool, I'm going to remove the press pin, I'm gonna put in this support plate here. So when we're squeezing this down too, what we're trying to do is get the same distance from each link to the master link here. So that squeeze distance, right, like that. So that's where the caliper is gonna come in handy to get precise measurements, or if you want to, you can just eyeball it as well. Now I forgot a 22 mil wrench to actually tighten this down, so sometimes you gotta make do. So I'm gonna be using some vice grips. So bottom link I have 20.8 millimeters. Top link I got 20.79, pretty darn close. And the master link 20.8, perfect. We're gonna grab this guy here with the little ball. So what that's gonna do is actually push on here and flare them out so the pins can't ever come back out. So we're gonna swap it back in our tool. Took the little press plate out. Then we're gonna put the backing plate on the back here. So now we're gonna do this kind of one link at a time, just watching. You don't need to go overkill here. You just need to squeeze it enough that it's gonna flare out so those rivets won't come out. The magic number for this bike is 1.5 inches. And I don't care what anybody says, 1.5 inches, that is normal, okay? That is normal. So we're gonna take a measurement right at the center of the links here. I'm gonna push down, take a measurement, push up, take another measurement, and add them both up. Pushing down, I've got about 1/2 inch there. And if we're starting at the 2 inches, got about 1 inch. So that's almost right on point. Don't forget to line up this properly from where it was previously. Pop in right there. That's his home. That's where he will live. And then lastly, I'm just gonna lube up the chain here. Get it ready to go for a rip. Now, hopefully a couple of you were able to get some good information on this. If you did like the video, please consider smashing that like button. Throw a comment down below, or if you can, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys on the next one.